Welcome to Pinned and Broken, a Warpath Universe podcast with a focus on Epic Warpath. Tonight, we're going to talk about getting into this game and the easiest and quickest ways to do it, as well as some hobby tips to hopefully help you get started on your journey. I'm your number one corporate shill, Drek. I'm joined by a man whose head says GCPS and heart says Plague, Don.
Yo.
A man who we're not sure if the green is hygiene or his natural skin tone, our one and only Goran Gordo or Jordan.
Hey.
And our number one rat daddy, but also our number one forge daddy, Josh.
Hey.
We may also soon be joined by Kirill, but he's dealing with toddlers right now, so maybe we'll get him in here in a bit. Tonight, we're going to start with how we get into Epic Warpath. Well, obviously, the quickest and easiest way would have been to jump in on the Kickstarter, but we're kind of past that right now. The Kickstarter itself brought in about a little over $500,000 US, funded all 8 factions, and that leads us into the next easiest way to get in, and that is retail. The game has started hitting retail. The first 4 factions are available. 2-player starter box featuring Enforcers and Plague is available. And to call them starter armies is a generous statement, considering it's 2,000 points roughly of each army in those boxes. But at $160, you can get everything you need to play and 2 armies. They've also released Forge Fathers and Asterians, and some of the super heavies and a couple of other things, terrain, buildings, fun stuff. We'll go into more detail as we talk. The final way is the current frontier that's running on My Mini Factory. If you're a 3D printing enthusiast, they've raked in at this point about 23 grand US, and there's still 2 weeks left. And that can get you all the STLs for the Enforcers, the Plague, the Asterians, and the Forge Fathers. And they announced today in an update that they'll be rolling out the last 4 armies, Nameless, Marauders, GCPS, and wow, my brain just ran blank. Veerman. Veerman. The last 4 armies, they're super heavies and such, as well as additional terrain in another month or so. So, number of easy ways to get in. Obviously, guys, we all got in at the Kickstarter. We were really excited about this from the moment we heard about it. And beyond that, we're all mostly pretty heavily into the 3D printing scene. So I know Josh and I especially have been printing up a storm. Jordan, I know you printed a lot of your Marauder stuff.
I did. I printed everything that I could print. I think I printed 1 each of the super heavies, and then at least 1, but probably 2 squads of everything else.
For the
so I feel like it need a couple of games in, but I feel like it's complete print for all Marauder options.
Nice. Josh, you were starting to say?
Yeah, I was just saying it's pretty easy to print out a force of your own. I've done the Veermen and Dwarves and Enforcers, and it just takes some time, but it's pretty easy to print them out. So easy way to get them on the table too.
Affordable as well. We were kind of hashing out what we thought the cost was to print an army earlier before we started recording.
For me to do like an entire army with like bases and double units, just at resin cost, I think it's around $40-ish. Now, obviously, if you're having a friend print them out for you or something, might throw more money at them for time and whatnot, because it is a little intensive. But yeah, it's not bad to print them out.
Well, and if you're taking the STL approach, just the Frovox award on the My Mini Factory, which is the 2-player starter set, essentially, it's $19. So for $20 and $40 in resin, $60, you and a friend can literally be pretty much full into the game.
Oh yeah, the what they're doing with the Frontier is just a great way for people coming in after the fact from the Kickstarter, for people to get their files and that. So yeah, no, it's awesome.
Their all-in reward on the Frontier is $125. That gets you all 4 armies and the super heavies and the reinforcements. and the terrain pack, 3D printable tokens, 3D printable dice, PDFs of the rules. $125 to have, 4 armies full on is an insane value. And I know Ronnie, Dead Zone podcast had an interview with Ronnie, and he was discussing again the shift in policy for Mantic with the 3D printables, and he's just like, he's like, I know people in his own company who would rather print models than buy plastics, and they're really taking a step to just start embracing that side of the hobby. He doesn't care if you print them or if you buy them, just come play them.
I will say if you've got the option to get the plastic, I think personally I do the plastic because it's just a quicker assembly and everything. You pay a little bit more, but if you don't have the option to buy the plastic, printing's just fine.
Yeah. Well, once you've got them painted on the table together, you can't even tell the difference. Barring that you have a decent printer. I have, Jordan, what you've got, like a GK2, don't you?
Correct. And a Mars 3 Pro.
Yeah, I mean,
But
my
thing hasn't been
Mono
turned
X,
on in like a year.
my Mono X2 is doing fine quality wise for me. And Josh, what are you running?
Mars 5 Ultra.
Yeah. So I think any 4K printer or up is more than satisfactory for quality on these.
Especially at this scale. Jeez.
Yeah, right. Well, you mentioned assembly, and there's not really a whole lot more to talk about in regards of like the purchase requirement for the game. I mean, if you want plastic, the 2-player starter set is retailing on Mantic for $160. If you want to go all in and 3D print, you can get 4 armies and all of the goodies for $125, right? So when we're comparing this to other games on the market, it's ridiculously affordable to get yourself right down into it. I mean, the all in is literally everything.
Or 66 for everything for 2 armies. And
right.
That was one of the updates too. Was basically any combination of 2.
They added a number of additional options as far as the backing goes. And I just want to look at what the retail price is for a starter faction. Because if it's like, oh, I want to play Enforcers, you're looking at that's not in freedom dollars. That's in Great British pound. US dollars, you're looking at $90 for a starter box and $110 for the reinforcements. So $200 to purchase your army outright, plus another $40 for one of your super heavies. So $250 you can buy an army. Even at going in and paying full retail price, $250 for all in on a faction on a war game is not insane money spent.
And that is all in, which will cover so many point levels because you get so many models. It's ridiculous. Like, have we added up what the total points value is of like everything just added together? It's got.
I haven't gone through it, but if you look on the companion, there are demo lists for the Plague and the Enforcers that are built out of the 2-player starter box, and they are both 2,000 point lists.
Right. So with the expansions, you're probably pushing around like 4,000.
I think it's going to vary from faction to faction, but yeah, I mean you're looking at 3,000 or more. I mean your super heavy alone is a 400 point model.
Do you have a content list of the 2-player set?
It's 6 sprues. It's an Enforcer starter box. It's a Plague starter box. Rulebook, tokens, dice.
They're getting 2,000 points out of there? Because I don't know if I was able to build 2,000 points.
Well, I mean, we've seen over the years that you're just not good at these games, Don.
Hey, yeah, I know, but
let's pull up the public list here real quick and have a look. Getting started. Battle for Frovox Enforcers is 2,000. Plagues like 1910, it looks like. So you got a lieutenant and a panther, 2 operatives, peacekeeper and a panther grav, a lieutenant in a transport, 2 assault enforcers, jet bikes and a panther punisher, a 3rd lieutenant in an APC, 3rd squad of operatives, heavy weapon squad, and panther mustang. Yeah, that's all off the starter sprue for the enforcer list, and that's 2,000 points. And they have quick thinking and advanced reconnaissance as battlefield stratagems. So
That's a little
1,985 points in models. The Plague comes in at a little less. Stage 3 command, 2 squads of ghouls, an HMG, a tank buster strider, and an artillery. Another stage 3 command. 3 zombies. Oh, that doesn't seem right. I don't think you can get 3 zombies out of a starter box.
No, you can only get 2.
Yeah. A squad of leapers, 2 mules, another stage 3, 2 more ghouls, burster, strider, artillery. Yeah, that list doesn't mesh right for Plague.
Not for 6 screws, yeah. I don't know what they built out of that, but
Yeah. But if you 3D print them, you have no problem getting that many zombies.
no, for sure, yeah.
Well, Josh, you kind of started hinting at it when we were discussing. Let's move into what we've learned hobby wise as we've gotten started with this. I've got at the 1,500 point level 3+ armies under my belt already, and I know you've gone pretty heavy with your Veermen and your Forge Fathers, and I think we just had a Kirill join us.
Hello, my dear people. I'm here.
Hey, you're only 15 minutes late. Welcome to the party. We're about to start talking hobby. So,
A wizard is never late. Frodo,
this is not the Kings of War podcast, son. This is Warpath.
But yeah, so I've assembled all the plastic that I got for the Veermen and the Forge Fathers. I've done resin of the Enforcers, Nameless. Might I just say the Nameless models have grown on me tremendously. Like when the Kickstarter was released, I looked at those, I was like, those look dumb. I cannot wait to start painting these things. I think they are just awesome little guys.
I think there's something fishy about them.
Those like
I'm sorry, I'll see
giant,
myself out.
the giant flying prawns. I don't know, something about that unit just screams to me. I can't wait to get those painted up. But yeah, no. As far as the assembly of like all the models, once you have them out in front of you, it's pretty easy. I think we talked about it last episode. Kirill knocked out an entire army and painted it in the matter of, I don't know, 8 hours or so.
Give or take, yeah.
I did 1,500 points of Plague in 8 hours. That was a lot of zombies. But yeah, it is possible. It certainly is possible to really get these on the table fast. I mean, we can talk about not getting things on the table fast, though. Don, why don't you talk about your hobby experience?
So I built 6 sprues worth of GCPS and Plague. Plague went by real fast. I don't know why, but those assembled much faster.
Hey, I said your heart says Plague. You're the one that's insisting on GCPS, though.
Well, I need 2 armies.
Only?
But yeah, no complaints as far as I'm concerned on the builds or anything like that. Everything is, I would say, as good a detailed as it was in representation to the firefight models. I do have a gripe with the mules, more so the GCPS, because there's even less detail than the other versions of the mules. It's just as a very lackluster looking model, not very inspiring to put paint on. So doing what you can and tagging areas that will allow you to put some highlights and stuff is about as good as you can do on those without actually kitting them out with kit badge or whatever.
There is a slight controversy that I've seen pop up in the Epic Warpath group regarding the size of the mule on the sprue versus 3D printed. Apparently, the 3D model is a smidge smaller, but I believe it was Clive that said no, that's intentional. The onagers are a little smaller than the transport mules.
The what?
It's the onagers, the artillery. version of the mule. It's basically a mule with has the artillery battery on the back.
Yes.
In Firefight, you buy a mule and then you can kit it as your Bronco. You can kit it as your Onager. You can kit it as a Canis command vehicle. So,
You're saying
that argument
the
though
Plague
doesn't
Earth.
hold weight because the Canis command vehicle is the same size as the Onager. Like,
hey man, I just work here, and my response has regularly been, just upscale it. If it bothers you that much, just upscale it a little.
yeah, that just
And
means that I have to like redo all the mule vehicles that you 3D printed for me.
Well, get
does
on
it
it.
really matter once you put it on a base?
Well, that's
My
a
vehicles don't
conversation
go on
for later.
bases. Yeah.
Because my vehicles do go on bases. So,
Hobby-wise, though, I'm currently actually painting my GCPS, and I'm busting out some wash and dry brush techniques I have not used in years to get through this. And it's if you do that and properly highlight and pick out, make sure you contrast details, they go together pretty quick and they look really good. So
I'm going to butt in here and brag up our boy Don because he won't do it himself. Don has studio painted models in the industry. He's no slouch when it comes to painting. So when he bemoans washing and dry brushing, it's because he's a semi-pro painter here, and he needs to start posting some pics of his work in progress into the Pinned and Broken group because it's impressive.
I do.
What do you mean
I will.
semi-pro? He's the only one that professionally got paid. He is the pro. Like,
Hey,
he is professional.
I got paid to paint a driver for an RC car once. Does that make me a pro painter?
Yes, it does.
I paid you to do some tanks for me.
You didn't pay me.
Yes, I did.
Only in love.
I paid you to paint.
Well, that money's long gone, and there's no evidence or receipts, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I believe that.
You paid me to airbrush a Sherman and then weather it.
You did some decals too, so.
Oh, I did. Oh yeah, I painted your Hellcat, didn't I?
You painted German Hellcat.
Shermans aren't Hellcats, my man.
I mean, they had cats.
No,
The
it's
M10.
separate.
The M10 tank destroyer.
Yeah,
We had a bolt
separate.
action phase. If whole new audience here, Don. So
Yes,
they
I know.
don't know we went through a bolt action phase.
But anyways, so I would say the detail on the infantry is more than adequate. The only gripe on those is it seems like anytime there's like a weird area where their like feet are close together while kneeling or something like that, they're kind of like blobbed together a bit. But given the scale, I'm not really gonna say too much about that.
Have any of you looked at Legion Imperialis models?
Yes, but not in a while, so I can't really.
The number of
I have the starter set.
Yeah, the number of like blobby undercuts that show up on the Space Marine models in there in comparison to say Enforcers or the other models. I mean, I've seen the whole range in some capacity for this game. Yeah, the quality is significantly nicer with the Mantic models, which full on kudos to them because I feel like their model quality game has stepped up a lot over the last couple of years.
And yeah, just as Josh was talking about with the Nameless, like I would never consider getting their firefight army, but they look great at this scale.
They don't.
So I don't know how much of a.
Well, they got Dead Zone. They have Dead Zone.
They do have Dead Zone.
I don't know if.
There are some cool Dead Zone models for them.
Oh, they're in Dead Zone, not Firefight?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not yet.
Bad.
People have been petitioning for them, and that people have been petitioning for them and Rebels in Firefight for a while now. So,
well, regardless, the 32, 35 heroic, whatever scale is not that great looking for that army, but they look really cool at this 10 to, what are we talking, like 10 to 12 mil?
I believe the game officially is 12 millimeter, but it seems to fluctuate based off of what kind of looked good and what fit on the sprue.
For sure, yeah. So I'm very curious if it's like a direct transfer and it just looks better at the scale, or if there was some remodeling happening going on.
I don't know for sure, but I will not be surprised when we start seeing new Epic units scaling up into the firefight and dead zone realm. Jordan, we didn't talk much last time about your Marauders. You got them built at MGT. Have you made any progress on them?
I have not, but I've also not felt the greatest lately, so motivation's been lacking.
You lack discipline. Well, Carol, that leaves you. Any new work on your GCPS as we've gone so far, or any hobby pitfalls that you've encountered getting started, either plastics or resin?
So I've been working on the super heavies for GCPS because I have two of the tanks, of the hover tanks or whatever they're called, and one of the walkers, right?
The mall
And
battleships.
yes, the battleships. Um, and because of their size and the large amount of just flat plates, they actually didn't take that well to contrast paints. So
I can see that.
yeah, so I am going through, with more traditional painting techniques. The battle walker I actually finished earlier last week and looks pretty good. I am looking forward to taking it on the table at some point. But the big project that I've been working on that I am really excited to share with all of you guys, and I've been sharing for the past week or so, is
Oh, you should hold that till
you.
the end.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah,
So as far as
yeah, 'cause
hobby
that is fun
stuff,
and exciting. We were talking about that before we started recording.
yeah, other that's about it for what I've been able to do hobby wise. Between my dogs demanding my time after my kid goes to sleep and my kid demanding my time after school, I haven't really had much time, which you would think that I would because I'm furloughed right now and not allowed to go work.
There'll be a link to Kirill's GoFundMe in the show description.
Um, actually don't have a GoFundMe, but
I know, I'm just being an
I can
ass.
share my Venmo. Put that in the show notes.
Shit, there's supposed to be show notes? Well, I have been churning out my enforcers. I painted my Maven this last week, and I have shamelessly plugged myself here. I have been doing paint videos for almost everything um, on the Gamer Direct channel. If you want to check those out, hopefully there'll be battle reports sooner than later. Um, but I finished up the Maven, which I was not crazy about the model when I started it. And now that I've finished it, I really actually kind of love the model, and it's got me excited. I have a Draken left to paint, and then I will have painted. I've built and painted everything the enforcers have to offer. So I will have several thousand points available to do what I'm going to do, and um, I'll have several thousand more to paint soon. Um, we'll talk about that later too.
What would you say is your biggest difference between your painting your firefight versus your epic? Because it's the same color scheme, so I'm just curious to see like what is your like the biggest difference in your not even just like colors, but like the technique in
The
the two
colors are the
kills.
same, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's prime black, and then I do a base of Payne's gray, and then I do a zenithal of blue white for the armor. Um, Big difference in epic is I've taken to, after I've done that zenithal, doing a Payne's gray wash to get the details to pop, and then it's just detailing. I mean, at the firefight scale, I really well, you saw my army. I put a lot of effort into making sure that I went into highlights. I was panel lining everything, not with a wash, but I was physically going in with the brush and panel lining every crevice and detail, except you pointed out on my jet bike pilots. Uh, so it really it's
So
just
I
go ahead.
actually just watched your YouTube video on that. You should make sure you put that link in the show notes too.
Which one? I've got like 5 epic videos up and another one
The one about the
releasing next
bikes,
week.
comparing the
Oh,
28 millimeter to the 10 millimeter.
Yeah, I realized it made a lot more sense if I had like 28 millimeter models to show next to the Epics. That would be fun, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I was really happy with how the Epic scale jet bikes turned out too. I mean, obviously you have to ditch some of the details from the 28 mil going down, but I thought they looked pretty sharp at the end of it. Which is a funny challenge, I think, with the super heavies because you've got such a larger model at that point that the amount of stuff that you can do with it, the real estate you've got for details and freehands is much greater. I busted out decals on my Maven, which I don't know, I had BattleTech decals available, so I thought this will be a good use for these. I did a couple of them on my accusers and my persecutors as well, just to help differentiate them. I kept the paint schemes pretty much the same, but then I did a one decal set on my accusers and a different one on my persecutors, just to kind of at a glance say, oh, that's the bomber, that's the transport. Well, let's if no one has anything else, like, oh, I'm sorry, we do have more. I completely forgot. We were talking about bases for a moment. Kirill, I heard you say your tanks don't go on bases. Mine do. Josh, are you basing your tanks, or are you just what are you doing?
I'm basing all my tanks because it makes it so much easier to magnetize them.
Agreed. That's the exact same reason I've been doing the standard plastic 28 mil bases under all of my vehicles, because I can slap that refrigerator magnet right on the bottom of that, and then they sit pretty steady on the drawers that I use to move my armies. So I guess, Kirill, with that in mind, like Josh and I are doing the bases for magnetization purposes. I have that 3D printed drawer system that I use to transport my armies for tournaments and events. Josh, how are you moving your army?
I've got some hardware tool totes that I've stuck like steel sheeting down on, and so I can just put the magnets or the
Right on that.
well, right onto there, and then I can be lazy and wield them into the conventions.
Yeah. So I guess, Kirill, how are you? Or have you even thought about how you're going to transport the armies? Or
Yeah. So I am a savage compared to you guys, and um, have been known to just throw them all or gently place them all into a box and just make sure I don't shake the box too much. I mean, at that scale, they just don't have the components or the details that are going to break off. Like, if you had a bunch of small swords or barrels at 28 millimeter. So yeah, I mean, just put them in a box.
I would like to
For,
refer you to the photo of Josh, Jordan, and I leaving for Adepticon last year, and what the back of Jordan's car looked like.
like, m- most likely, I will use the same bins that I've been using for storing bits, like the ones that you'd find at like Harbor Freight with a bunch of little compartments. They just
Yeah,
the lid pops up, and they're usually wide enough to do like each row is usually wide enough to do in 10 or 15 millimeter scale, 1 to 2 vehicles per row widthwise, so they're not too congested in there, and they don't have too much room to bounce around. And I've been doing that for years with Drop Zone, Drop Fleet, um, Armored Clash. The few times that I've actually taken those models out, uh, Team Yankee stuff, or I mean, the stuff that from Team Yankee that I use for other things, and
right.
uh, Battlefleet Gothic even. Yeah, anything like that. I just don't even use any fancy cases.
I refuse to believe, as a former UCM player in Drop Fleet, that you didn't break the shit out of antennas tossing them in those containers.
Actually, I did not.
Man, that's
Now, 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 for something like the dreadnoughts, battleships, like the bigger ships, yeah, I definitely took a little bit more care with those because they have the mass behind them to like break stuff. But anything that's like a frigate or a destroyer, I mean, they're so light.
yeah. The frigates were pretty light.
But getting back to this game, there apart from super heavies, there's nothing in a GCPS army that is heavy enough to actually break itself in one of those cases.
I don't know. I think the Wolverines probably break down on their own all the time.
I'd be a little worried about the Striders.
I was just making a joke about the Wolverine being a junky tank.
Wolverines.
Thank you.
This,
If we discuss
But
any
so-
Wolverine and someone doesn't bellow Wolverines in the background, it's going to be a wasted opportunity.
Speaking of Striders, that brings up a good point. That was probably the thing, one of the few points of contention that I had when I was assembling everything, because the way that they did the ball joints, right? Like the ball joints just aren't big enough at that scale to have the grip and the surface area to hold that arm in any cool pose. So all of my what are they called? The Strider Ajax, yeah. They have like their spear, touching the ground or touching their right leg, and it makes for very monopose models. But between having slightly more contact points and the amount of super glue that I ended up using to get that thing to stick, like it's not going anywhere.
Did you do any sanding on them prior to gluing them?
Don't make me look like an amateur, please.
No, well, I'm sorry. I'm just asking because I found personally when I assembled. So in Firefight and Dead Zone, for my enforcers, I use the Ajax Strider chassis as
Yeah.
all of my Striders because I like the canopy better and it differentiates it from the GCPS Striders that I'll have.
Yep.
So I printed some out for Epic to use for my enforcers, and I put burst lasers on them, and I found myself running into the same problem adhering them, and I just took a sanding stick to the connection points and
Yeah,
had a lot better
of
luck.
course. Like, why would somebody not think of sanding up the surface to give you better contact and a little bit more grip? Like somebody who doesn't think of that is just immature at hobbying. Clearly,
You didn't sand them, did you, Carol?
no, I did not.
Well, if they fall apart,
Loser.
maybe give them. Look at that, Carol. You came on just for public humiliation.
Yeah,
So
like
yeah,
the dozen or
dear
so
listener.
listeners that we're gonna have on this.
Yeah, well, we do this out of passion, not out of profit. So
You guys are getting paid?
no, that's why it's out of passion. All right. Well, I think that actually covered all the hobby notes. So let's move into additional hobby. For example, I have a bunch of peacekeepers on my desk for firefight because somebody inspired me to do an all peacekeeper all the time list, and I'm not letting that idea go quietly into the night. So
I
as
remember
a
that
break from
conversation. That was me.
yes, this is all your fault. Because I needed an excuse. And you know what? I went through and found all of my peacekeepers, and I have exactly 3 more peacekeepers than I need to put that list together. So I don't have to buy anything.
Nice.
Yeah, well, or scary that I have that many peacekeepers on hand. You take your pick.
Yeah, but they're like the equivalent of cells. It's not like you need that many.
I 24,
Okay, more than I thought.
24 and 3 Nova Shock. And how do I have 27? To double check I'll have to double check my collection.
Got
Yeah,
problems,
so
Derek.
I don't have problems. I have all of the peacekeepers I need. You're gonna have problems when you see that list. Cause it's gonna kill you.
I would
So
die. Who cares?
aside from that, I am working on fleshing out a couple of 1,000-point Asterian lists. Getting a couple units for the enforcers done. There's an event I'll talk about later that I'm getting armies ready for to help a dude out. But what about you guys? Any hobby, Don, that's not Epic related?
No, this has been all I've had time for. Is just picking through the GCPS at the moment.
Josh?
Well, sort of Epic, but it's more building terrain for Epic. I've been making lots of little fun fungi forest kind of stuff that I've been printing out. Once it gets painted, I'll post up some pics. But I'm enjoying making tables for terrain.
I should send you some pics of the neoprene forest tiles that Mantic has, because I think that terrain is the inspiration for those, and it's in like a variety of fluorescent colors. But it's nice to be able to throw that footprint down, and you can take the physical terrain off to put your models in and play.
Oh no, I think I saw that. Those were those. Yeah, didn't you have those at Michigan GT?
I did.
Yeah, no, those
I
look
did.
good.
I won another pack of those at Michigan GT. I have like 3 packs of them now, so
Oh,
which I'm gonna
Those
need.
were Mantic branded.
Yes, yes, they were. Jordan, you working on any non-epic related hobby?
Yeah, I'm slowly slowly continuing to work on putting together my Core 1 Prusa kit that I've had for like 6 months, 9 months.
Well, you need another 3D printer down there.
I mean,
course he
need
does.
is a strong word. I need kits that I already have purchased that aren't together to be together to
I'm not
create
judging,
more
Gordo.
space.
I'm not judging.
I'll
It's
then
okay.
have to find table space somewhere for it, though.
Yeah, you are running out of space down there for more printers.
You gotta move into the stick so you can have a pole barn, Jordan.
Right?
A climate-controlled pole barn so he can ensure his resins print properly. But do you wanna throw a number out to detail how many printers you have on hand?
Like functional or
Let's just go functional.
around 10.
So I'm gonna send you some terrain files so you can get it done in a day for me.
Right. Print out a table a day.
The temperature in Jordan's home would actually go up like 15 degrees from all the printers running at once.
Right.
Might blow a fuse.
Lights are all brown and dim.
Now, mind you,
AEP calls you and it's like, sir, why are you having such a massive spike in energy?
I mean, I don't know that it would necessarily, because I do charge the Jeep every night, so
Hey, don't spoil the narrative. We're having fun. Never let reality get in the way of a good story.
and
All
they're
right.
not all plastic printers. 3 of those are resin. One's not been plugged in years, and the other one. So.
One of them's a lathe, isn't it?
Oh no, I
Oh
wasn't
yeah, I
counting
forgot
that
about that. Your CNC.
Yeah, that's not that's the opposite of printer, because it cuts away things.
How stupid of
Um,
me.
no, it's not a lathe. It's a router. Well, I guess it's more than a router, but there's a lathe add-on that I haven't taught myself how to use.
So, anyways, if you have printing needs, you can reach out to Jordan via the Pinned and Broken podcast, and he may be able to take care of you. Jordan's going to start his own Etsy store and retire from this life of hard work.
I need to, right? Pay
Probably,
off all the
probably wouldn't be a
printers.
terrible idea.
I mean, I could have like 40 armies worth. It's oddly motivation for getting printers originally was, very hobby related, and the amount I've spent on printers versus gaming hobby, like it's
You could have had
I
a
don't
real
want to do
40K
that.
army.
I probably could have had 4 really big.
Don't do it.
40K.
Oh God. Don't. When you quantify it like that, you're going to hurt your own feelings.
I mean,
All right.
Gonna get Jordan sued by GW talking like that.
You wouldn't be the first. You
no,
probably
I'm not.
won't be the last.
I'd have to like the game to print fakes of it.
Oh God. We're going to have to edit that out. We don't want to be haters on here. Unless we're talking about Forge Fathers, and then we can hate on them all we want.
They seem pretty good though.
I know they do.
Speaking of Forge
I
Fathers, Josh, how do you think that they compare in this scale compared to the Firefight scale? Because that was another army where I just thought they looked like
they
Oh,
don't
I-
all have heavy armor.
I like the look of them better in Epic, if we're being honest.
Okay.
I think them just shrunk down, less to look at. Yeah, because I wasn't the biggest fan of their 28 mil, even though I bought when we were at Michigan a whole nother fight army of them. But
I don't know if it's just lack of variability in some of the paint, and it just looks like a lot of the same, or just personal touches. But I think I'd say Forge Fathers, much like a couple of the other armies, for whatever reason, seem way better in person than on the box to me.
I don't disagree with that assessment, though it's getting better. I don't know if they've got new studio painters or what's going on, but the quality and the photography is, like the model quality as well, is just gotten better over the years. And maybe it's just a result of Mantic growing and maturing as a company that we're seeing better photos, better models, better paint jobs. But yeah.
Also be
the old
demand and also community like speaking out more. So
could be. I mean, there's a lot of factors that could weigh into it, but yeah. Forge Fathers in person, I don't dislike the models. I mean, I have a Forge Father Veerman starter box that's still sealed because I'm still painting Enforcers and Asterians, but in every scale. But yeah, well, I have torturously drugged this out long enough. Kirill has something to share.
Derek the other week asked me to make him a prop of a GC. I'm sorry, not GCPS, of a Enforcer pistol. What is it? The Genling.
The Genling 32 laser pistol.
Yeah. So I've been working on that. That has been something really, really fun that I've been working on in Fusion 360. I love working in CAD. I love tinkering with, different designs. And the initial file that I sent you was like a V1. It was a single solid brick of whatever material you wanted to print it in, and it was really big. One of our friends, Joel, actually printed it at 50%, and it was mostly the right size. Then I shared some pics of version 2 with you, which was mostly a broken down, but not as good as I wanted, but it was broken down into like more appropriate size pieces for printing and assembly. And now I am working on version 3, and I shared a few of the like kind of preview images with you guys over the course of the last few days. And basically this version of the pistol will have some functionality. So it will um be printed in both resin and FDM, small like small detail components like sights for the rear and front of the weapon will be in resin, and then there's the little LCD computer screen that I shared a picture of with you guys
Yeah.
that's going to be printed in resin.
Kirill's
Or
taken it upon himself to add details to it, since our point of reference was the 28 millimeter pistol that the Enforcer operatives, assault enforcers carry. So
So at 28 millimeters, you can't realistically model every detail of a weapon, right?
right.
And so I have been doing research on what a actual laser weapon would look like. So in my version or iteration of this, the Genling laser pistol is a CO2, it's a CO2 laser weapon basically. Is using our current technology, that is the high power lasers that most militaries go to for large applications. Um, so I am working on creating all of the internal components, not for real, but to make it look realistic-ish. If you were to take off the outer covers, to make it look like you see the capacitor, you see the actual laser assembly, you see like the heat sink, like all the actual controls that you would see, and it's as of right now, I finished modeling and creating the safety mechanism and a trigger mechanism for it. So the trigger is a single piece with an integrated like a integrated flat spring that you just 3D print on a FDM, and it's going to slide right in and click into the pistol grip, and that will interface with the safety selector switch, which will block the trigger from firing in the safe position.
It's a ridiculous amount of work, and it is fucking awesome seeing what you've done with it. I need you to finish though. I need an enforcer helmet for my desk now.
Hey, contact your representative about making this furlough just keep going, and
No,
and
sir, I require this shutdown to go on. My friend is catting for me.
yeah. So I'm just having so much fun learning more and more capabilities of Fusion 360 because like anything working in CAD, it's a perishable skill. And, I did a lot of it in college, being an engineer, did a lot of it on and off through my different jobs. Never like really in depth, just using it where I needed to. And this project is really pushing my skills with CAD software up there in terms of making sure that I have assemblies, making sure that all the parts um, are working and rotating or spinning or clicking into each other properly. So working with interferences and like press fit or like click components clicking into each other. Making sure that all the clearances are there. That like whatever I want to move has full freedom of motion. Yeah, it's just been a really fun project, and I'm really looking forward to having the next version of it 3D printed and you guys taking a crack at putting it together and seeing how it works.
Oh, I'm excited to try.
And I'm really excited to like you take it to Adepticon and people just kind of like look at it
Well,
and tell
I
you,
was
wow, this is so cool.
I I was the inspiration for me to be like, well, if you're looking for something to do, was last year at Adepticon. I ran the Halo Flashpoint Nationals, and I can't remember the number. There's a Halo cosplay group, and they show up to just about every big Flashpoint event in force, in full Spartan armor with weapons. And I spent half of the Flashpoint tournament walking around with the classic assault rifle from Halo. And it was just fun to have it in hand. I was like, you know what? If I can do that for Firefight or Epic, I want to do that. So, and you're just like, I can do it. And I'm like, hell yeah, you can. So
Yeah, you've seen some of my other projects. Like I've done some pretty cool terrain. I've done that like
you're gonna end
28
up
millimeter.
designing a full suit enforcer armor before this is all done. You know that, right?
Um, I mean, let's make this game as popular as 40K, and then I can sell it, and then I can actually have some sort of income. I'm gonna keep beating this dead horse that like I'm not allowed to work and I'm not getting paid, and it sucks. And call your congressman or representative and tell them to unfuck themselves.
Pinned and Broken has no political affiliation.
I did not say anything about any particular party.
Well, you're gonna get back pay though, right? Well, God, we're gonna get sidetracked. We stayed on track
We are
so well.
not gonna sidetrack this conversation into that.
Well, I think that brings us about to the wrap up here, and there's a few fun things to talk about. I live in a small town in Northwest Ohio, about an hour north of Columbus. And a game shop down there called Dragon's Lair is hosting an Epic Warpath Learn to Play tournament on December 6th, I believe it is. So it's 1,000 point list. They're playing on 3x4 tables, but all of the armies are provided. And I am helping out by bringing a few painted armies so that Sam, the gentleman who's running the event, can have enough armies. He's currently trying to plan for 16 players. Last time I spoke to him, he already had a dozen players signed up. so it's looking like it's going to be a healthy little event. And it's going to get a chance to get 3 games in rapid succession on the table, and every round you basically get handed a different army. So it'll be a fun opportunity to play multiple factions. So I'm hoping I can get a game in with Forcers and Asterians, and then something at random. I don't care, just to play a little bit with everybody. So that's very cool. And then a few months later is Adepticon, and if you listened to the Dead Zone podcast, Rick may have mentioned that I am doing stuff at Adepticon, and I am. I'm running a couple of events at Adepticon. Hopefully, you a-holes are going to play in a couple of events at Adepticon. But not to spill all the beans, there will be a tournament. So last I heard, it was probably going to be on Thursday. And then Friday, there's going to be some pretty cool major demo events, which I am busting butt to get a half dozen armies done for that. So yeah, there's epic activity happening. And we'll wrap up with a quick look at the Frontier. They released an update earlier today, as of the recording of this podcast, where they made some fun announcements, and I am just going to read from the update itself. We already had planned to run a second Frontier for the second wave of armies. So after this one, shortly before the end of the year or early in January, we will put up the next 4 armies for you. At the same time, we have a whole new selection of terrain to add as well, giving you a lot more files to dive into for Epic Warpath. Then, aiming for around March 2026, Adepticon, we have the first expansion set that will introduce new miniatures and rules for every army, expanding the game even further. So, this thrust straight to digital for it. I've seen people be like, well, the game's already dead because they already went digital for it. Mantic is just all in with the idea of get your models how you want to play it. So we've already got expansions coming for Epic. We've got new terrain sets coming for Epic. We've got new models coming for Epic. So it's a pretty exciting time. And Kirill, if we don't get our plastic GCPS by the end of the year, at least we'll be able to print GCPS for next year. So let's step into any last thoughts. Don, anything on your mind?
As I finish up this GCPS army, I will take votes on what type of zombie that I will be painting. So if anybody in our fan base has opinions on their favorite type of zombie or zombie movie, I can take inspiration from.
Oh, I want you to go full Romero, Night of the Living Dead.
So black and white?
Is there one with
Michael Jackson's Thriller?
Yeah, there you go.
If we're going to talk zombies, I have to drop the Newsflesh trilogy books.
They got pictures?
Yeah, Don doesn't read.
Fantastic books.
Anyways, yes, some fan interaction.
Do you have like, no joking aside here, or joking aside here, do you have like some motivation? Because like zombies are kind of zombies, right? Is there a big difference between 28 years later, Walking Dead, and Dawn of the Dead zombies?
Well, I mean, I don't know the background in the Mantic universe, but they seem to be more Plague is the name.
Do you need a quick lore drop?
So not undead is my guess.
They are not undead. The Plague is like a virus, a kind of a hive mind virus, and the stage 3 zombies are basically the least mentally intact humans that are infected. So they really do become like rabies-styled slobbering beasts that are just kind of directed by the Plague Lords.
Somewhere between 28 Days Later and Resident Evil, as far as the monsters go.
They're not technically undead. They are still alive, I think. There's a really good, it's either in Dead Zone Chronicles or Containment Protocols. There's a really good short story where a GCPS soldier is being infected, and he keeps having hallucinations and flashbacks to different memories, but the plague virus is altering his perception of his memories, and it's just like filling him with this uncontrollable rage to just go kill everything. And like he's like, as his consciousness is slipping away, he's aware that he's like, that's not how that happened. That's not how I should remember that. It was kind of a cool story. But Jordan, what do you got? Any final thoughts?
Not really.
All right. Circle back around, Don. You have a copy of the Frovox Enigma. The second story in that is very plague heavy and worth your time reading.
Oh, sweet. Yep.
Josh.
I think upcoming for me, I'm gonna try and stream a game of Epic Warpath from my house here, and probably in the next 2 weeks or so, and hopefully I'll have some of this terrain painted and I can show it off.
You want to plug your YouTube channel?
No, because it's just trash. Actually, I don't really have one for this game yet, but all the
You
other
can't
ones
just
are
rebrand
trash.
your old one.
No, those still get views.
Okay. All right.
Aren't you gonna post it after a live stream?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
see how it goes.
All right.
Carol, any final
I mean,
thoughts
I'll-
for you? Oh, sorry, Josh. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I mean, I'll probably like stream it to like the Facebook group or whatever.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, Carol, any final thoughts? We lost Carol's audio again. He's unmuted. He's muted. He's unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
There he is.
All right. So there's a slight chance that Joel and I might actually get together for a game on Saturday. But considering we've tried planning, over the years, and most of the time something gets in the way, I'm hopeful, but I'm not putting a lot of like emotion into it.
Well, if it happens, because Pixar it didn't happen, and let me know. Maybe I can get a hold of both of you and we can do like an after action report, just like a short, condensed, what you learned, what you experienced, mini episode.
Yeah.
Oh, no thanks,
We
Kiro.
should-
I'm busy on Saturday anyways. Thanks for the invite.
All right. First off, you live over an hour away from me.
How do you know Don wasn't going to bring his plague to you?
Because for years we have been saying, Don, come this way. And Don is always like, oh, I'm busy. I'm working. I got to work early the next day. What is this work BS that you got, Don?
Yeah, Don, get furloughed.
Get furloughed. I did. That's how I worked at the bakery.
Well, true. All right, well, keep us posted. And now that we know, we can all collectively apply pressure to Joel to make sure that he fulfills the obligation to do the enforcers proud.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap up this episode. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us banter and discuss hobby and the future of Epic Warpath. We hope to be updating this monthly, so stop back and see us again. Next time, just keep pushing around the tiniest of plastic spacemen.